that. That first stuff we just explored was for us. I don't get into politics except when it becomes something to tell you that's positive. I don't control people, religions, or government people. I leave that up to much more capable hands if they want to interfere. Silent mentors, of course, don't usually get into that. Master teachers don't normally get into that, but certainly Galactic Alliance council members and things like that would. If it's going to affect their worlds, and if it's going to be negative, the direction's going can hurt other people and other planets, not going to be allowed. I can tell you there's no such thing as free will on Earth to allow that now. People don't even know it yet. They'd be dead already if something hadn't already stopped nuclear war. Everybody talks about it, but it doesn't happen. Do you really think the people who have such things like that are trustworthy enough and mature enough spiritually to not use them if they have them? Of course they try to use them. You think Hitler wouldn't have used them if he had them? He'd have used them instantaneously.
Yeah.
So these aren't the people you would want to trust with such devices. This is why when nuclear war was almost started on this planet, unknown to the people of this planet, the launch computers were shut down from space. This is openly disclosed in the Congress and whistleblowers. This is part of disclosure. People come forward and say, yeah, the launch computers shut down, or they were often turned on to start a missile launch that nobody on the planet could control, scare people to their senses, and then they would shut down the computers. It means we had no control over it. That makes people in the military very nervous because they can't control it. So they keep it classified. That way they can get their funding and make their next jets and rockets and whatever they're doing. But it's pointless, isn't it? Kind of pointless. They don't know it's pointless, but it is ultimately. I don't think that people in India or Pakistan or other places have nuclear weapons who can be relied not to use them. They had to be forced to not use them through Trump tariffs that stop those wars from happening. You don't have smart people in this country. Not people that can make decisions that's good for the whole planet. They make decisions based on their own fear, and they make wrong decisions. So my work is not about politics. It's not about threatening anyone, because I never do. I have no interest in telling anybody what to do or how to behave. And the work is there to help people bring enlightenment into their belief systems. It's not here to change anybody's faith or get them in or out of religion. It's to wake them up in it so they can make decisions without fear, which they're not doing now. And this is very important. So we go on these journeys. We do it for one reason. And one reason only. I'm on this planet and I came here to help change the world a very long time ago. At that time, my mission here was intercepted. It's not the first. And people in this country turned down offered help from the Galactic Alliance a number of times in favor of getting help from beings they should not have made alliances with to get off-world technology. One of the dumbest things they ever could have done. And then they had to be helped out of that one because they didn't know how to get out of it once they've created the trap for themselves. So that was taken care of for them as well. Disclosure is no longer optional for this planet. If it were, we would not be having this conversation. You wouldn't have the bodies you have now. They'd be gone. The Earth would survive, but people would not. It'd shake you off like a dog shakes off a tick or a flea and rebuild itself and just adjust. It wouldn't be destroyed. And people don't realize that this is not their planet. They don't own it. It's not their possession. Try to take the richest, most powerful, arrogant person on Earth who owns homes all over the country and tell them, go ahead and try to take that with you when your body stops working. You can't do it. They don't own anything. They're guests. They're supposed to be behaving like mature adults, taking care of the planet and its ecology and its life and each other. They're not doing that. That's a problem. They're doing quite the opposite all over the world. That is a red flag for the end of life on this world. There is no future in that kind of culture. None. This is known without doubt from Galactic Alliance history, recorded history on many worlds that went up in smoke, that are like Earth is now. I say this not because it's out of fear, because no one's threatening anyone from the stars. No matter what you hear, no one is threatening this planet from the stars. Not reptilians or greys or anybody else. They're gone. They've been gone for a long time. So what is left without their influence, do you suppose? That's the good part. The potential to transform. So we go on these journeys to gain experience, to allow ourselves and to co-creatively contribute to the source energy to change for the better. Otherwise, we won't change at all. A brain and a body on Earth can't change itself. Have you tried? Can you reprogram your own brain? Like you can control your computer? Oops, nope, doesn't work, does it? So what has to control changing the programming in your brain, if it needs changing at all? What has to change the programming in programs that are in the electromagnetic field planted there around you, subconsciously, where you see the universe distorted in fear? That's what tyrants did. In a history you don't remember, in a history you don't even want to remember. But it was done. It has to be undone. We go into the hue first 6 times for one purpose. We do this because the hue is not just some made-up thing. It's first half of the word human. It creates a vibration in the pineal gland, the center of the brain. It's a round whole tone that vibrates the center of the brain upward only, not downward. It doesn't have anything to do with the lower chakras. And it makes a connection to the source energy that's out in space, people call divine spirit, or the hue expansion ray, which isn't black or dark blue. It's a white golden light everywhere. Scientists on Earth today, classified ones, and even some unclassified ones now, that is not dark matter. It's just not visible to human eyes. It's powerful energy, and it is not molecular or nuclear. It does not observe the laws of physics. And it doesn't take billions of years for light from another galaxy to reach Earth. It's a continuous stream. It's connected all the time. Think about this. Light is not a particle like something that goes from point A and then they shoot it out across the galaxy from one galaxy to another, and then that one gets to Earth billions of years later. What do they just keep shooting out single particles or a whole stream? And if it's a stream, it's connected all the time. It's got nothing to do with time and space. This is what they do not understand on Earth at all yet. They know what zero-point energy is, the energy of the universe, but they don't know how to work with it. They don't understand it. They're trying to treat it like physics, like molecules and atoms. It does not relate to anyone trying to play with it that way, and it never will. The fact is that the one energy behind all of creation is the biggest and most vast omnipresent force out there that little galaxies float in. People on Earth don't get it. They just don't get it at all. If you measure the speed of light, 286,000 miles, some change per second, with physical eyes on Earth, you're going to make a big mistake in thinking that the speed of light is limited. It is not. At all. Period. Once they start to learn this on Earth, things will change. Problem is, the way it is right now, people would use that understanding to build more weapons, and that will not be tolerated. People on Earth in governments and in religions have to come to understand. They have to grow up and play among the stars in the bigger God, in the bigger universe beyond Earth, or they're not going to be allowed to leave this planet at all. Period. It's a very big statement.
Yes.
But until they do that, they're stuck here. Little rocket ships with tin cans that need oxygen and explosive fuel to get up in orbit and come back, take the toilet paper back from the space station and supply it. That's a joke. That's not going to take people out among the stars. It's too slow and too cumbersome. It'll never be fast enough even to explore the planets in our solar system. It'll take hundreds of years. No. People are still playing with the idea of rotating sections in a spaceship, like a rocket ship, to create artificial gravity. Pretty cumbersome and awkward, don't you think? Not practical. But that's all they work with. That's all they know. We do things differently when we go into the hue because we're beginning to plug directly into the omnipresent source behind all life, right from Earth. The body starts to drift to sleep. You do it every night, no problem. And then you get up above that body. So let's do the hue together. I'll do it with my vocal cords. And then we're going to connect the dots between 5 realities, 6 actually: physical, astral, causal, mental, etheric, and then up into the void. Once it hits the void, it doesn't stop because the energy is connected from the void all the way to source and back. It never stops. You don't have to connect it. It's connected. We just have to connect to where it is no negative nature in it. I'll begin the hues now. Do them silently in the sanctuary of your own being while I do them aloud. Okay? Hue. You could probably all hear the thunder in the background. That's kind of like what the hue sounds like in space, but not rumbling and roaring and bouncing around. Constant sound. It's not frightening. But it has a humming and almost like a rumbling like that, like thunder. For the physical universe. The physical universe is not just the galaxies and stars you see in space, or the telescopes and radio telescopes and advanced electronic equipment shot up into space that now can see further than the Hubble by billions of light years. And they're seeing stuff that threw the old Big Bang theory right out the door. It no longer applies to what they're discovering. So you should know that first of all. This is known in scientific circles now. There are levels to the physical dimension. Each one stacked on top of another like a checkerboard pattern with dimensions. Each individual parallel dimension, molecules vibrate at their own time rate, all the same. In a higher parallel dimension, they vibrate at a faster time rate. Finer matter, finer energy. A finer mix of more of the hue in it than in the physical universe. You go to the astral plane and it's vast. More vast than the physical dimensions, 144 of them. The hues we did connected to the forms you have that you're running as physical forms on those planes, whether you knew it or not. The Atma knows. And it plugged into the void. The vortex was already out there waiting for us. That was brought here by Trellian and myself, Satnam, and, the Source itself, Agam Purushan. They all have a connection to this kind of thing. But the silent menders in particular maintain doorways between realities. They're their guardian protectors. When you're above your body on Earth, you're looking down on it, all you're doing is doing what you do when you imagine going to the store before you get in the car and take your body to the store. So who or what is taking the body to the store? Is it your brain and personality you grew up with? No. I know that's what you think. People think. It's the Atma running that body, what people call soul, that's making that body motivate and go to the store, because it's the Atma that saw the store, not your brain. Brain cells don't store information like a computer. So where is that intelligence coming from? What are the brain cells for? You damage the brain cells, and the energy through the pineal gland from who's really doing the seeing and knowing can't get through to the body consciousness. But it's not in the body consciousness to begin with. And when the body ceases working, you don't take that brain with you. Or what did you store it in it, whatever memory is there. So this is simple stuff, which you awaken when you get outside of Earth's atmosphere and look at things objectively from outside the whole brainwashed, programmed atmosphere of the planet. And you bring that back to your life on Earth, and that's what enlightenment is. Everybody knows the gurus and all the stuff that's ever been touted on this planet has to do with leaving your body or going to some heaven or finding out some mastery before your body dies. It's all about that. Ascension is kind of an illusion. It means you ascend somewhere permanently and go play there while everybody else suffers and you don't do anything about it, and you just go off to some heaven and pick flowers, sit on a cloud with your naked butt playing a harp all day long. There's no such reality like that. Not in the upper worlds anyway. People don't get fatigued. They don't get tired. They don't have physical bodies. They don't eat. They don't go to the bathroom. So why would they need something like that? They're busy and active creating new ways of doing things. The hue expansion ray, what is it? It is the first half of the word human, and it is the first sound behind all creation, the primordial core source sound, first sound. And we are comprised as Atmas of exactly the same first sound energy, made of the same stuff. No different than the source behind all life at all. Can you imagine what Earth would be like if people knew that growing up on this planet? Wow. So when you're up near the ceiling, looking down at your body, you have a couple assigned to you from the Galactic Interdimensional Alliance of Free Worlds. That's what it's called. I didn't make it up. It means something. This is not something that's been disclosed in any place within the UFO community or disclosure communities on Earth yet, but it will be. They've just scratched the surface. Federation, that came from Star Trek from Gene Roddenberry. Warp drives, radioactive warp-driven ships 2,000 years from now, came from the science of physics at the time. It's not realistic for the future. They don't travel around the stars out there polluting space with ships with tailpipes. No, they don't. That's dinosaur land. Antiquated. Extinct to them. Earth is not very evolved yet at all. We wouldn't beat each other's throats over religious and political viewpoints. Pointless dribble. They're not focusing, these people on Earth, on what matters their whole lives. They believe they are, but they're not. And the world shows it right in their faces. Whatever it is they're doing, they're not doing it right. They pray to this life beyond Earth, call it God, but they don't want to actually change to be responsible, mature beings to co-create with that source they pray to. And it's not going to let them into some permanent heaven the way they are. They would destroy it. Think about it. It's fortunate that we are not alone in the universe. The Hue expansion ray means the omnipresent first sound, first word behind creation is a sound, first and foremost. Not one you can hear with your physical ears, and it has a light, but you can't see it with your physical eyes. Human bodies are not evolved enough for that. You have to see it with the white core of your being, with all of those teardrop-shaped faculties around you that are also in layers, but not made of atoms or molecules or physical matter. So simple. Try to get this across to a physicist on Earth, and they run into their brainwashing they received in a university. And they can't get past it. Most of them can't. A few are beginning to. Quantum physicists are closer to it. They think of us as a quantum in a great quantum. That would be correct. A little quantum in a great quantum. Zero-point energy, a term coined in the classified community of scientists, is the energy of the universe. 0 point. What does that mean? 0 point? It's not a statement about molecular matter or neutrons or atoms. It's a statement about what the CERN super collider people called the God particle, because it does not observe the laws of physics as expected. There's a golden white light pouring down through your ceiling, down through yourself, and the couple that's assigned to you that look like Chantil and Tontil and Don Tim Lam Tim. I won't even tell you who's hovering behind who. They're to each side of you, showing you a 36-year-old mature physical type body, blue-gray single form-fitting uniform on, galactic line symbol on the right chest, long hair to their shoulders, slightly bigger eyes than Earth humans, brown skin, green skin, blue skin, Caucasian, ivory skin. So what? They aren't like bodies on Earth. They don't have genetic flaws. They've mastered genetic science a long time ago. That's not a problem for them. So no, they don't have disease like cancer. Are you kidding? They never tolerate that. Or microbial life in the atmosphere that gets in and competes and destroys your body, competing for life. They got rid of that a long time ago. It's the dinosaur time of life. Why would we want it around us now? We don't need it. So, is there a cure for the common cold? Of course there is. Simple stuff. How come people on Earth aren't being given it? Well, I can tell you why. Precisely and exactly why. Because it doesn't make money to cure anything. That's it. There's your answer. Allopathic medicine. It's good for if you're in serious trouble or an accident and get in a car wreck and you get a blood transfusion and get your bones fixed and all that. But disease, they don't have a clue on this planet. Because it's relative to the genomes on the DNA, for one. And they're not producing food and healthy environment ecologies on this planet to support cures either. Cures don't make money. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not for or against anybody out there doing whatever they're doing, because ultimately they know themselves they're not behaving normally. There's a deep guilt in the people on this planet because they're destroying themselves inch by inch, and they don't dare admit it. This is changing. But it's not changing because of the free will awakened enlightenment of people on Earth. They aren't changing it. You could say the God they pray to is, but not in the way they think it does. This light flowing through the three spheres you are, hovering above the forms, you, if you're a male, have a perfect 36-year-old male body, well-dressed, standing between the two others. If you're female, it's a perfect female body. This is a prototype. It's not made of molecular matter. It's what you show other people through eternity, of you, of uniqueness, of your individuality. But it comes from the core of the Atma, the spherical person you really are. The flow of this energy passes through your body in the trance state called sleep and out through the wall. It's beginning to charge Earth's depleted atmosphere of the hue. I'm not here to promote other beings, but there's a professor from Washington State University that proved the multidimensional nature of H2O of water and what it does. Proved it. It can store information like a computer, but it's much more than that. The charge of this outer space element people used to call dark matter in Earth's atmosphere is pretty much depleted because beings like us are supposed to keep it charged. Are they doing it? No, they're not. Earth is not anywhere near a normal planet compared to those out in space. For people to join with them and really advance, they're going to have to give up all of their self-destructive beliefs and destructive petty jealousies and greed and nonsense and stupidity and fear. They're going to have to drop fear because it's the only thing that anyone has to ever drop in any life on any planet in eternity. Permanently. Fear. That's it. Nothing else needs to be given up. It's a bright flash of light, and we find ourselves in space around Ambassador Turelian in space outside of Earth's atmosphere. At a distance, you can see it turning on its axis. You've seen space images of it, satellites and shuttle and all that kind of thing. The barren moon, no atmosphere to speak of, does not turn on its axis at all, orbits the planet, always showing us the same face. So they call the backside the dark side, but it's not dark. It passes in front of the sun. It's light half the time too. Interesting, isn't it? That is not a normal moon, and it's not functioning normally either. That's some of what they found out in the Apollo missions, that the moon is not functioning normally. Classified, of course. How did I know this? How did I find it out? Well, I had to go out there and find it out for myself now, didn't I? Turelian stands 18 feet tall because he shows you a body form that he had over 1 billion years ago, before his entire race immortalized those forms. He does this to show you he carries this form around by his own free will, so when he liked the most, before it was dematerialized and stored in a teardrop near the white core of his being as an Atma, 1 billion years ago. 12-stranded DNA they had. We got 2. Guess where our DNA design came from? 4-stranded and others out in the galaxy from them. They were here long before we were, but they were human. The original human prototype. We are actually rooted in a much more ancient past as human beings than anybody on Earth can even dare to comprehend. The brain on people on people's bodies on Earth cannot comprehend this anyway. The awakened Atma that runs that body like you get in a car and turn the key and drive that car. That's you. The body doesn't even have its own battery like a car to start it. You start it. The energy of the hue you transmit through the pineal gland to the brain to run it, to wake it up, to get it up in the morning. That's how it really works. Honest. The religious groups, some of the biggest on this planet, don't want anybody to know the secret of the pineal gland and what it does. This is the doorway we go through to leave the body every night or in the day. It's a mechanism. You used to know this stuff. In space, you can see above Turellian this beautiful big Atma hovering there. He's more like near the size of a silent mentor. Probably is now. I haven't really compared them. The teachers or mentors of the Say race were the silent mentors themselves. As far as I know, the only race they ever actually mentored in this way. Because they were advanced enough to make it practical, I guess. We're in a circle around this being. There are others with us. We're not alone, the four of us. I'm standing beside Turellian's right side. Satnam's standing to his left side. You look up, he's also standing way up in space. Both places simultaneously. There's a big hourglass-shaped, whirling golden white vortex, like an hourglass, narrow center, turning on its axis, and a blue-green energy like water, looks like water, revolving slower around the outside of it. And up at the other end, you from right here, as an Atma, you can see that it's connected to a vast, brilliant, what I call pale cobalt blue light. That's the void. Satnam is standing, showing you the form he chooses to show us below the opening. Eta and Din are further down, above the Atma that is Turellian. The Lightsea is standing between Satnam and Eta and Din. They're all master teachers, not from Earth. Ramu is near the Earth and standing in a circle with us. It's very grounded. And Opelum is further out in space to my right. The Galactic Alliance couple is standing to each side of you. The Atmas, all three of yours, hovering above the forms you show each other. Just like Turellian. In space, there's a vibration running through you. It sounds like deep thunder, but not roaring and vibrant and rocketing and shaking a room or something. It's a consistent sound. It has a white golden light to it. Everywhere in space, around the Earth, the Moon, the Sun, the stars, the galaxies, it's the same 0-point toroidal field energy. Anti-gravitational, that's not anti-gravitational, it's just gravitic or gravitational fields made of the hue in a specific form, creating a field of energy around objects so they can float relative to each other, like a galaxy floats relative to other galaxies in their positions in this parallel dimension. The Milky Way doesn't go up into another parallel dimension where that galaxy already exists, made of higher molecular time rate matter. The portals or doorways between them were put in place throughout the lower dimensions of time and space. The beings that created that and maintain it, I'm not even sure this silent mentors originated it. They certainly maintain it. Silent mentors are not beings that have ever been disclosed to people on this planet in its history. Very little to the Galactic Alliance, although they know about them. Until recently, nobody had any contact with them. Nobody had any contact with Turellian except 500,000 years ago, except Master Opelum. which is where the Galactic Alliance became the Galactic Interdimensional Alliance of Free Worlds. The Great War came to an end. Then, not now. The problem is not outer space beings who are no longer in our solar system that are tyrant in nature. It's the twisted nature of the people on planet Earth that's the problem. Untrustworthy, unreliable, fickle, dangerous, destructive, selfish, self-centered. There isn't any mass of people on this planet awake enough as beings running bodies to change this place. There just isn't yet. The hue, the first sound, is pouring down through the opening of this vortex right through Satnam to the big Atma, giant Atma. He is above that body form as he shows us. And there's two couples of silent mentors standing to each side of him below the vortex. What the heck are they doing here? They normally never have any contact with beings like us. Blue gown, green gown, yellow gown, red gown. Male, female, male, female. Bare feet. No facial features, just bright light and long hair to their shoulders. Above them, an Atma hovering 4 times larger than us, twice as many teardrop-shaped faculties or layers. These are silent mentors. Silent ones, I guess, because you won't hear them talk to you in words. Trillian very rarely does that. There are master teachers, male and female, stationed symmetrically in the circle between all of us, who are going to take a shift of working their responsibility as master teachers in the Hue Expansionary Academy. They come from different places in the Milky Way. The Atmas above them have come from bodies that are running in the astral, causal, mental, and etheric, and they're all have their bodies in the sleep state, or trance state, called sleep, like you do on those planes. So you, the Atma, the real being, can go on this journey into and above the void, because nothing else can journey there. Spaceships don't go there. Galactic Alliance craft can't go there. The Sayrays used to have supercraft, but they don't need them anymore. See my point? And we're going to send the Hue out now, and we're going to add our Hue to this collective. Because Etin, Din, and Lightsea, and Ramu, and Opelum, and the Galactic Alliance, Shantil, and Tonaltil, and Dantim, and Lamtim, and their associates and master teachers here with us. Some of the master teachers in the circle are from the Galactic Alliance. The majority, but not all. They've already created this vortex. Trillian's standing there with his closed fist with thumbs up with a foot-thick white golden light brighter than the light of the Hue in space. And it's creating an oval, transparent light around us like the hull of a spaceship. So we do, in a sense, get to stay collectively together and go somewhere in a type of ship. But it's not mechanical. It doesn't need fuel. It has no moving parts. But it is a conveyance. When you look at the Earth, you suddenly see it change like a heat wave in a desert. And now we're looking at the Earth as it exists in the third higher parallel dimension of the physical universe out of 144 before we even get to the bottom of the astral plane. It has 2 continents, one centered over the equator, left to the right hemisphere, huge, almost to the north and southern poles. And one on the other side of the planet, 2/3 its size, centered over the equator. A moon that's covered in atmosphere and rain clouds and little oceans and dome cities turning on its axis. That's a normal moon for this planet Earth. It has no impurities or pollutants on it. There are no twisted, unconscious people on these worlds. It's a prototype. It's what Earth shall become. As above, so below. One could also say, so below as above. Silent mentors, of course, are involved in maintaining that Earth. Galactic Alliance personnel, Sayra's Ambassador Turellian and other Sayrays, advanced scientists who work there. There's a green beach down near the southern pole, center of the equator, south, about a third of the way up from the South Pole. Curved upward like a half moon, glowing emerald green. You can see it from space. And we find ourselves wiggling our feet. You can feel the warmth and the coolness of the glowing emerald green spherical transparent crystals that make up the sand of this vast curved half-moon shaped beach. Giant jungle trees with glowing leaves. And Ambassador Turellian standing offshore up to his knees, smiling with his two thumbs up, closed fists. He likes to stand because that ocean is calm, the whole ocean. It's blue with a tinge of green. And he just likes, because it's charged with the hue, he just likes to stand the form in it. But he doesn't have a physical body, remember? It's an appearance, a projection. But it has all the senses of a normal human body, feeling, taste, sight, touch, smell, sound. And he's enjoying it. I think he's probably adding something to the ocean, then receiving something from it. And we're standing in a circle around a couple. They are from the planet Xentranomon 1. It is a headquarters world of nearly half of the planets, a little over that, in the Milky Way galaxy. On the other side of the galaxy, opposite where Earth is, a planet 4 times bigger than Earth with 3 moons the size of Earth, none of which have polar ice caps. And they're standing there, about 10 feet tall. Silver metallic-like hair to their shoulders, but it's not harsh, it's soft. Violet-colored eyes, longer necks and torsos and fingers and hands because they're 10 feet tall. Elegantly dressed in gowns that shimmer like an aurora borealis when they move. The woman is holding up her 2 palms facing outward, about chest level. Their fingers spread, and there's a foot-thick, glowing emerald green light coming from them. And you realize she's charging this beach. It's a gift. They're scientists. The beach is charged so the visitors can take one of these grains of sand, which duplicates itself. It doesn't lose any. And it projects itself from the beach right into the white curve of your being, goes out to the green layer and starts playing with the thick layer of all those teardrops, turning some on here and there, in a way where you can be comfortable becoming aware of what wisdom is contained in those faculties and have a practical way to use them, say, back on Earth. In the distance, you can see a single snow-covered mountain, blue stone, snow-covered. Several miles inland, there's a brown moss-covered path straight as an arrow right through the jungle trees from the back curve of the beach. And we're suddenly in a circle hovering around Turellian, looking down at a clearing several miles inland, a clearing to the left. There's a statue of this woman made of quartz, pure, standing in a circle of white stone with her palms open, hands out. The glow is around the hands of the statue. You look into it, you can see inside it, in some realm, she's standing there like she is on the beach. It's actually coming from her hands that charges the hands of this statue, which is the device that's powering the beach. And it's the hue coming through her that's doing all this. We're just taking a peek. Then we move inland, and you see this snow-covered mountain off to the right. And down to the left on the lower plateau is a curved, transparent dome covering a crystal beautiful city. It's not complex like a metropolis. There are 3 golden-sided, quartz-capped pyramids in a triangular formation on the left third, the back of it, surrounding about a long ivory oval dome, about a third their size. Luminous blue-green lake in the circle, and out around the countryside, these little ivory domed homes with little white paths between them, and trees all through these paths like giant eucalyptus trees with broad, glowing, spoon-shaped leaves. A semicircular mountain range, small mountain range in the background, little waterfalls pouring out of little caverns, cascading down waterfalls into tributaries and feeding this lake. It recycles. It's for the aesthetic pleasure of the people who work here. Their own little mountain range in a domed city. This is Oceanian technology. The Master Opelum standing on a white path right in front of you. All of us around him in this tall lavender grass. We're inside the dome. You can see the mountain up there off to the right. A waterfall cascading out of a cavern opening 2/3 the way towards the summit. Pouring and dropping thousands of feet of luminous blue-green water and disappearing behind the blue forest trees that surround the back of the dome. Above it, an oval tunnel, man-made, dome-shaped lights receding down into a spiral. And that goes into the interior, hollowed-out interior of Mount Shasta in Northern California. That is a Galactic Alliance base. There's nothing anybody on Earth can do to penetrate it, see it, detect it, or anything else. It's way beyond their technology. It was built there in 1908. Good thing, too. And we find ourselves suddenly in space, around Turelian, looking at this Earth as it is, with its moon alive, the 3rd higher parallel dimension of the physical universe. It's good to touch base with something closer to home like this, like what that continent was called Lemuria. The Atlar Atlantis was the one on the other side. But that isn't a Lemurian Atlantis that never sank. Poles never flipped like they did on Earth 100,000 years ago. This is how the universe is. It's not the same between dimensions. The Earth worlds aren't the same between levels. You're not the same between the forms you're running between the physical, astral, causal, mental, and etheric, but you've got bodies there whether you like it or not. Light C hovering below the silent mentors and Satnam smiles and holds his right hand up. There's a flash of blue-green light around his entire being. And we suddenly find ourselves standing on a foot-thick golden luminous quartz floor inside a massive golden-sided pyramid. In the center of it is a massive silver golden tree, perfectly formed, with giant roots going right down into this quartz. The trunk is hollow. The golden white light is flowing up and down it simultaneously. The top of the tree touches the inner top point of the inside of the pyramid. And Lightsey is standing pointing to it. This is his realm. This is his custodianship. This is his teaching facility. He is the caretaker of this place. He was the first master teacher to volunteer to serve here when it was built. And this is what he gravitated to. This is what he does. That is the tree of life. Every needle on every branch of that tree is connected vibrationally frequency-wise to some place in the lower worlds. This is located in a clearing, which you'll see when we leave here. Down the western roadway, the first turn to the right from the 6 bluestone snow-capped mountains that circle a white stone island surrounded by a blue-green luminous lake. The blue glass-like administration tower, the U Expansion Ray Academy, is built on the outer circumference of that stone, comes up to a flattened oval area where there's a fountain, and then up to a minaret point. But you're inside this pyramid. In fact, you can see through the walls and see what I'm describing to you. The walls of this pyramid are transparent whenever you want them to be. Now we're suddenly in a group around Turelian with this oval light around us, keeping us together. I'm still by his right side. Satnam is here by his left side. The silent mentors are hovering above him to each side. Here, this is the one place where we can rub shoulders with silent mentors. In the U Expansion Ray Academy, we instantly projected through the portal, the vortex, but we didn't have to go through the visual process of going up it. The hue doesn't work that way. We can direct project to where we want to go. So this is an experience being given to you so you understand this. You can go the other way, the slower way, because it's fun and adventuresome, per se. But you can direct project as well, as an Atma. So you're above looking at this pyramid, and light sees hovering just in front of Ambassador Turelian, pointing down to the pyramid. We're up in the cobalt blue space, high above the U Expansion Ray Academy. This time we're going to a realm. It's a silent mentor. It's like the size of a planet, but it's flat, laid out. And they have a facility. It's out the northwestern quadrant, down the central roadway, and a left turn, halfway down it, 2/3 of the way down it, somewhere like that, into a vast clearing. There are 3 pyramidal structures, each in triangular formation on a vast area of land, with a certain blue scalloped stone fountain in the center between all 3, quartz capped. There's a silent mentor couple hovering above the top of each of these pyramid groups of 3. The waterfalls and the waterways between them is just undescribable in Earth terms. Everything is luminous here. There are no need for lights or planets or moons or suns or stars because everything is self-luminous here, including you. We're still in a circle around Turelian. We can see in the center of all these pyramids, slightly bigger ones, and a slightly bigger fountain in the center between them, and a blue pool of light in a golden stone about a foot thick basin. The fountain is above. And in the fountain above it is a blue-green luminous fir tree-like source of light flowing up and down in the shape of a Christmas tree. Each needle connects to something, to every other pyramid here, and to the trees here. And above this fountain is the top silent mentor. I do not give out his name. Unnecessary. Didn't even know he was going to be here. Why he needs to be here, doesn't have to. But he's waving his hand towards these silent mentors that man and operate this huge facility. I'm going to take the time This is a place called Tramisteal. Tramisteal. So Ceres' homeworld or home location spread out in a vast land the size of a planet. It's on that area of Satnam's mighty realm. It's not located in the lower worlds of time and space. It's located beyond Satnam's palatial estate on the other side of the blue stone-covered straight diagonal mountain range. There's another blue glass-like administration tower like the ones that's located in the U Expansionary Academy that connects directly to the massive tree of life as one of the lower branches in Agam Purusha's realm, many dimensions above here. This mystic realm is located many dimensions above Satnam's realm. There's a bigger tree of life in that fiery realm. We're going to be escorted by the top silent mentor, which is a male. Brilliant Atma hovering above this form in a blue, I can't even describe it. It's like a blue translucent gown, I guess. Slightly pointed ears. No really facial features, just this big Atma presence hovering above it. And we find ourselves merging with Turelian, moving right in through the branches and leaves of this tree in this fountain and up the golden white core that is the trunk. Up above us, we're following this top silent mentor. This is direct projection. There's a flash of light and we are instantly in the fiery realm of Agam Purusha. Orange, red, green, blue, lavender, violet, fires coming out of the ground, disappearing. There is no ground under our feet, forming and whirling around us, but we're safe. And a massive being, bigger than any of you've seen, white light with the subtlest colors of the rainbow, thousands of layers of teardrop faculties, approaches us and gives us permission telepathically to enter the tree of life we see in the background behind him. We just left a type of tree of life that's connected right to this tree. The trunk from that tree goes right into the trunk of this tree. We are outside of it to give you an objective perspective. And then we're suddenly moving through these massive branches. The roots of this thing disappear into the fiery realm below us, the top beyond the range of sight. And we're suddenly moving through the branches and looking at these needles left and right, and they go to planets and places and galaxies. They're all connected to something. It's called the Tree of Life. This is the Master Tree of Life. And we're shot up this shaft of golden white light. We come out the other end. We're in a much more brilliant cobalt blue space. This is the realm of the Source, our Prime Creator. There are two others higher than here. We're not going there now. We're speeding in the direction of what we see in this brilliant cobalt light. No stars, no planets, no suns, no moons. We see a single silvery golden galaxy turning on its axis. That's what it looks like. As we approach it, we begin to realize that these things that look like stars, which are round, are brighter than any sun, but they're individual beings orbiting a center. We pass between two of them as a group of beings, escorted by the top silent mentor. Satnam is with us too. Etta and Din, Starlight, my cat, he's here, who left this life a few years ago. His tail glows like Etta and Din. He's been learning a lot of stuff. And several other beings want to experience this. And we see there is as much space between these beings as two stars in space. We're shot through all of that. And on the way, we recognize that one of those stars orbiting the center is each of us. We never left. We're still here. What an illusion, huh? To forget all this? Source, Prime Creator. Collectively, we make up Prime Creator. There is no individual being at the center of this nexus. We're moving now into the vast inner third, which is hollow. And there's a white luminous island floating like a disk in the center of it. Above it is hovering a massive spherical presence. Thousands of teardrop-shaped layers, brilliant white core. And then we recognize that although we don't have that many layers, the white core of our being is identical to the white core of Source. And we're suddenly projected through these individual layers, thousands of them. There's as much space between those as two stars in space, and then we're in the center of it. And this presence manifests a voice that we can speak with, or it can speak with us. There's no throne, no guy with a beard sitting on a throne. This is a nexus where all atmas and all creation that make up Source are always connected. And it can speak with us. So it says to you, welcome home. You've come back again. And energy will go back with you and return to your bodies on earth from the etheric, mental, causal, and astral. Their bodies are asleep there just like yours. They're cooperating. And then you see them from here open their eyes on each plane. They look up and see the Source. Etheric, it looks down, sees the mental. Mental looks up and sees the etheric, looks down and sees the causal. Causal looks up and sees the mental, looks down and sees the astral, where all emotion comes from. Looks up and sees the causal, looks down and sees you sitting or sleeping on earth. There's a white golden light, a flash of it. And this Source says, now you must return to fulfill your destiny, to help change things, to be trustworthy, conscious co-creators with the Source behind all life. And we suddenly find ourselves hovering above the body we have on earth. This Galactic Alliance couple is still beside us. They smile at you and vanish, and then you can see from where you are near the ceiling, you can look right out in space to the planet Saturn, to a big mile-long galactic emerald star cruiser hovering in the ice rings down inside it, about 1.5 miles thick, made of water. That's right, water. And then you see inside one of the lounge areas about 1/3 of the way from the bridge control room, because they have duplicate bridge control rooms on each end of this mile-long ship. Blue-gray metal, anti-gravitic blue luminous light around it. And you see these beings who escorted you getting up from blue egg-shaped cushioned chairs and blue cushioned carpet that has a luminous glow to it. The bodies are perfect, about 36, maybe up to 40. They're stretching because they've just gotten their bodies up. To go on this journey with us, they had to escort you to keep all your fears shut off. They had to leave their bodies behind, just like you did. You look up and see a white golden light from Source passing down through the ceiling, through you, through the form you show people, about 36, down through your body sleeping, out through the walls. It continues into Earth's atmosphere to continue to recharge its depleted hue in the water vapor and in the H2O. And then it goes to 3 pyramids on Earth, stationed there fairly recently. They are not made of physical matter, but classified people can even detect them. They know they're there. They can't do anything to them or with them. Nothing whatsoever. It goes into a pyramid. One in the Atlantic, one in the Pacific, one in the hollowed out interior of a mountain hidden in the Himalayas, and it connects to a fountain. It has a statue of Satnam in it. It's a device. It's practical. It's pulsing out a golden white light. They're always connected to the hue, but we're bringing something from Source with us to these pyramids. And they're being beamed out into space from 3 points that join together, and then they're beamed into space right to this more massive pyramid with a quartz crown, stationed stably between 2 hovering stable asteroids. In the asteroid field that circles in the orbit of a planet that was Maldek, it was blown apart. It circles in the orbit of a planet between Mars and Jupiter. It's beamed from the fountain in that pyramid all the way back to the galactic core axis of the Milky Way galaxy, which is not a black hole. It is a white golden shaft of light, and it continues up that shaft like the infinity symbol right back to source. It never stops moving, and it only works one way now. And it's working one way to help beings in the lower worlds in what were fixed and finished realities become unfixed and unfinished so they can change. This means getting rid of subconscious minds, fear, and returning to our natural destiny and state, which was a trap. We set up a trap for ourselves, and now we have to fix it. So we've come full circle. You don't have to figure out how it's going to move through you to help change things. You have already agreed to help change things. So you are now part of the solution instead of remaining part of the problem. We are back. When you're ready, open your eyes. Take your time. It's a very intense journey. Very quick. Yet much took place in it. Nobody wants to come back from journeys like this. But we have work to do. So Source itself sent us back. Do you think that whatever that is needs any more than a second to put you back above your body on Earth? No. The hue that connects all those planes together is the same living, omnipresent conscious power. It's in space everywhere. When people on Earth figure that one out, or when it's given to them, they'll be able to play among the stars properly. So we're back live. And I see if Al Pennick wants to put his mic on, if he's still around, or if Lee wants to. Is Al even awake? I think maybe his video froze. How about Lee? Is she awake? Lee's coming out of it. Okay. Now how about Albert Pennick? Has Albert Pennick even got his camera on? Well, I'll bring this recording to a close.